Magic Pepperoni and Jaegers are standing by. Let's send them to the booth and have them take it away.
Thank you very much, Austin, and welcome everybody to the Nemesis Gaming League, where our first match of the night is about as action-packed as all three of them we have tonight. We have three really high-powered head-to-head matchups tonight on stream, and we do start off in the Challenger League, the home of my partner in the booth tonight, Jaeger. So how you doing tonight?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to this matchup. It should be a good one. It's two middle of the pack teams, but I mean, don't tell these guys. They both have shots at playoff spots. The Bishops 7-7, leading their division at the moment, and the Drakes also 7-7. I'm not too sure which division they're in, but I mean they're right in it for the play-ins, and these could be two very dangerous teams going forward.
You're completely right, and I think Drake's went 2-0 last week, and I think Bishop split a pair with one of their losses being a Game 5 loss to Ascension, your team, who is just red hot right now. So both these teams kind of peaking at the right time with 4 games left to go in the season. And as Merely pointed out, there are 9 teams right now with either 6 or 7 wins, and there's going to be 2 teams with pretty much the same record that are not going to make the play-in tournament. So wins like this are so huge, especially against teams with very similar records, as both teams are sitting at 7-7. But I think we're just about ready to get things rolling with these 2 teams. This is sure to be a banger matchup at Jaegers. You know these teams pretty well. I always love watching prospect games because I get to watch my fellow league mates. But this is your home turf, and what you got for us in this matchup?
This is gonna be a tough one. Magic could go either way, but I'm taking the Bishops, taking this one 3-1. I just think they have too much firepower for the Drakes to keep up. Zuletta's a great player on the Drakes, but I don't think the Drakes can keep up in this one.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. And as we do get these teams onto the pitch for our first matchup of the night, I mean, we got Blizzard Pinnacle coming up next. We got Pawns Whelps. Very big matchups tonight. This is gonna be a fun night on stream, and I don't know if we have a little chaos with setting up the match, but Crip has left the lobby, and that's not a good sign where a streamer is gone. So it's probably going to be a remake, but whenever we do get these teams on to the field, it is going to be fun. But we do need to look at some playoff implications or play-in implications before we get rolling. As I mentioned, 9 teams kind of just bundled in that fighting for a play-in spot. The Bishops, though they do have 7 wins, they do own their division right now. So it's when they lose games like this that teams like Venom, who are sitting just right outside at 6 and 8 right now, can just take their spot so quickly. So I don't know what you think about this division in particular, Jaegers, with teams like Venom and the Bishops that are just so close that you lose a game like this and you're just instantly either in the play-in tournament or you're just out of it completely.
Oh, absolutely, especially for these teams. These last 4 games are extremely pivotal, and I mean, every win counts, especially in those 2 divisions. I mean, the Central and I believe it is if I'm not mistaken, the Atlantic division are pretty much all but wrapped up in terms of who's going to win it, with Ascension and Raptors going back and forth. But really, the 2 Western divisions are really up in the air. I could see really anyone winning that division. I mean, Motion's cracked, Drake's are cracked, Dissolved's really good. On the flip side, it seems like a battle between Bishops and Venom. And Venom did go 1-1 back on Saturday, but they did really well to at least pull one off to stay in the race.
Yeah, and hopefully we can get this lobby rolling soon, because I think we have all the players available. I think someone joined too early or something. So once we do get it figured out, we will get this game rolling. But yeah, as you said, the divisions are not exactly the easiest in the world for either one of these 2 teams. I mean, Drakes do have Samurai in their division, who have been struggling all season. So it's kind of just a race between them, Motion, and Dissolved. But with Motion sitting towards the top of the standings right now, this is a game where if Drakes can win this, I think they do tie up with Motion, and they could push themselves out of the play-in tournament into this straight-up playoffs. So it is games like this where you don't get too many opportunities to take down a fellow 7-7 opponent and vault yourself into a very prime position, as we are finally rolling in this matchup between the Bishops and the Drakes as an early shot is saved away by Fort. And it's going to be a lot of pressure from this Drake's offense. A very aggressive roster with Daydreams and Zuletta in particular, two guys that are well known for being pretty aggro players. So it's going to be the defense of the Bishops here, Jaegers, to keep out the early adversity and keep this to a stable game where their clean rotations could take this game.
I mean, you said it was a very defensive team, Magic, but I mean, whenever we played the Bishops, they were like A1 on offense. I'm talking putting shots on top target, top right, top left, perfectly placed shots. And I'm not sure if it was a fluke or if that's just their play style, but this Bishops team is a lot better than their record.
Probably right in saying that, especially with the recent red-hot run they have going on right now, winning both of the last two matchups on Monday and Wednesday of last week. And on the other side of things, Drakes went 2-0. Is Bishops, who would have had the 2-0 if they didn't drop to you guys, if I am correct, on that Monday matchup, which did go the full 5 games, which was what we were hoping for here. When you get two 7-7 teams, you expect a close battle. As a early shot off backboard does get a little dicey here, but nice job getting in the way by the defense there to keep it out of the net. About a minute and 40 seconds gone by, and I haven't seen anything really start to take form so far in this matchup. Kind of just throwing shots on backboard and hoping for a miss to come through from their opponents, but right now it is very solid rotations as Daydreams kicks it out to the corner where Kratos is waiting for a bounce and a good read with good speed. Means a good shot for Zuletta comes on target, and that will be the first goal as the Drakes take the early lead.
I mean, Zuletta already popping off in this one. He does not want to lose. The man has 4 saves and 1 goal, and it's only been 2 minutes.
I mean, back in his early days on the Wyvern, Zuletta was not my favorite guy to play against. He is so quick to every single challenge that he takes, and even as accurate as you saw there, he just dusts the last guy back, and it's on target to, add insult to injury for the Bishops here, as 1-0 will be the lead for Drakes now, but they do have a little bit of pressure that they're facing right now, but Daydreams will get it out. He has a 2-on-1, tries to flick it over Kratos. A nice defensive positioning. Fort clears downfield to Climax. Climax with that shot on target, and a beautiful counterattack punishes the over-aggression from the Drakes.
And the Bishops answer almost immediately. Fort with a nice clear, and Mr. Climax putting it in. I'm sure that was going in anyway, but the goal steal is always nice, Magic.
Yeah, it is my specialty, and you do appreciate the banger on target. It makes it look a little bit better than just a clear downfield that rolls into the net. As an opening in the net means a random out of nowhere goal for the Drakes to just get one right back.
It was just a little bit quicker there, catching everyone off guard on offense. Kratos maybe shouldn't have dove for that, but I mean, just a nice heads-up play by Gio as a sandbagger.
Yeah, that does kind of out of nowhere take away the tie that Zuletta pretty much Climax hard earned there. And now the goals from Zuletta and Gio will mean that the Drakes are back on top with half this game gone by. Mr. Climax taking this to the ceiling, where it will be a nice rotation to clear it off the ceiling as well and get out of harm's way. Kratos looking for a clear to the midfield, but not the best touch. Probably not what he was looking for, as he had a passing option, but didn't get too much power. Fort will clear to the sidewall, where Kratos is able to turn with full boost. Can't quite get in the way of the touch, and it does release some pressure. Zuletta banging this downfield, but Climax is right there to pass it in field. Kratos has the shot, but it will be Climax to clean it up, and Mr. Climax getting his second of the game.
I almost immediately knew that was a goal. Didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen. Kratos putting on target, Gio getting back to save it, but Mr. Climax dunking away, and we have yet another tied game here in this game 1. It is very back and forth, Magic.
Yeah, Zuletta had a very good clear there that would have relieved the pressure most of the time. But Mr. Climax with a great turn on the sidewall just shuts it down, gets it infield, and a nice passing play to tie this game back up for the Bishops. And Mr. Climax with 2 goals so far in this series already. If the rest of the guys can step up on this roster for the Bishops, this could get dicey for the Drakes as a whiff does come through. Fort looking for Kratos. Kratos back to Mr. Climax. Top corner. What a play by the Bishops.
What a passing play. Fort to Kratos, Kratos to Mr. Climax, and Mr. Climax the back of the net. 3-man passing plays. You don't see those very often, Magic, especially not in Challenger.
Hey, bro, down in the Prospect League, we'd be losing our minds. But, I mean, I guess we are losing our minds here in the Challenger League because that's a beautiful play no matter where you see it. And a hat trick coming through for Mr. Climax. But the hype will be thrown away as the tie game does come back through for Gio.
Oh my goodness, Gio answers almost immediately. It's just been a tale of one team scores, the other one ties it, and it keeps going back and forth. We could have a Game 5 series here, Magic, the way both these teams are playing.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. I'm not convinced that either one of these teams is looking far better than their opponent. It's kind of just one team scores, an immediate answer from the other team as we do have a tie game with a minute left to go. An already banger stream night set to go, and the first game of the entire night is delivering with some amazing plays. It's Mr. Climax trying to get his fourth goal of this game one, but it will be cleared away. Gio trying to take this slow play of 50, does get it by Mr. Climax, who is out of boost, so you can't really blame him. He puts another shot on target, almost top corner. Mr. Climax is showing out on stream. He wants everybody to remember his name. As 40 seconds left to go in this game, Jaegers, I have no idea, honestly, who's going to take this one.
No, it's super back and forth, and I mean, if Mr. Climax just put that one on, he could put this one on as Fort dunks one away, but Daydream's able to clear it away, but I mean, this Bishop's pressure right now is just ridiculous, Magic.
You're completely right, and as the last 20 seconds roll around, going to come down to Gio with a little air triple here, trying to get it over one, but Mr. Climax as solid on defense as he has been on the shooting department all game long. Zuleta with another attack will be cleared away. Daydream's trying to keep the pressure on, but it will go right to Fort. Fort over to Mr. Climax, sends it downfield, and this will probably find the ground. It does stay up, and Zuleta is going to catch this. Kind of gets bumped out by his teammate, but a group effort doesn't get it downfield. Kratos, with a very dangerous situation, does do the best he can, and we have overtime here in game one.
And the Drake's almost able to take it full field at 0 seconds. Joe's a team sandbagger could put on target, but Kratos hits it away. And this is just a very high level of play in the Challenger League Magic. And like it makes you wonder how these teams are 7-7 right now.
Yes, and not exactly the way you expect a hype game like this to end. Mr. Climax getting his fourth, just puts it midfield, and then a really unlucky bounce sends the ball off the hood of Zuleta into his own net. And what a game one here to start off the night as the Bishops. I mean, I'm not sure what the survey said, but I do think this is probably a close survey. I will check real quick because that game was close.
Magic,
yes, it was very close. Oh my gosh.
Drake's 35, the Bishop's 34. That's almost as close as you can get. And I mean, the way these two teams are playing, that it's just proving the voters right.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess everybody looking like geniuses right now is a game that close. The survey better be neck and neck as it is. I'm gonna go ahead and vote Bishops just so it's tied at 35. So we got a hype matchup going on here. Game one delivered some amazing plays that I hopefully see on some social medias later. That was an amazing passing play, and if we have more of that coming from the Bishops, the Drakes are gonna have to bounce back early.
Oh my goodness, but Magic, I just keep going back to that 3-man passing play the Bishops had to put it top shelf. That was just a banger, and like hopefully we're going to see more of those plays here tonight. Like, and Magic, you gotta remember this is just game one. We still have 3 more matchups after this, or 2 more matchups after this.
I mean, I'd like to say we have 4 more games coming our way, but I think you might be right. Bishops did look pretty convincing as time rolled away there. A lot of panic coming through from Drakes as they had 2 people roll the ball downfield that last second attack in the regulation. It could have been, much more aggressive and dangerous situation for the Bishops defense, but it was thrown away as a clear comes through from Daydreams. Had a lot more time than he realized there, but will clear out the pressure and hopefully get some pressure for themselves. Zuleta trying to keep it in the corner, does get it past Fort, but nobody in the midfield willing to take the shot with the defense in a good position. This ball does come downfield to Fort, who will clear it away. Zuleta tries to get a touch, but it does go probably not the way he was looking for. Daydreams will collect it, gets it off his backboard, gets it over Mr. Climax, and a good job by the Drake's defense to clear the ball downfield here, Jaegers, and get a very dangerous situation here. But we will be cleared away, and so far, a pretty quiet first minute gone by.
Absolutely, it's looking a lot like the first game. Over the first minute and a half or so, it was super quiet. Teams were just feeling each other out, and then whenever the third minute kind of went by, that's when it started picking up the pace and the scoring barrage happened.
And off the ceiling here, Zuleta, he was not letting that get anywhere slightly being dangerous. He was on top of that from the beginning, and a good beat by Daydreams over Kratos. Means Fort has to make a touch and will not do so. Misses the pinch. This does get dicey here. Daydream's trying to get in midfield. Can't do it. Zuleta tries the same thing, and Fort, right place, right time, will stop away the shot. Anywhere else, that shot was probably going in, but it does roll right at the defender. And we do stay to score the scoreline right now. Zuleta trying to get some pressure going here. I feel like every single attack begins with Zuleta out of the corner. Gio will be demoed out here, and that makes this interesting for Mr. Climax. With boost to work with, we'll say he fakes that one, and Fort will have to make another third man clear. It seems like Fort is that rock for this team right now, but they are going to need a shooter, as half this game gone by now. I haven't been convinced by either one of these teams. They want to take any risk. This is very slow-paced, and I don't know what you think, Jaegers, but this is going to be probably not the way to play if you're the Bishops here. Kind of fed off of chaos in that last game.
Absolutely. I mean, Bishops are just a really high-pressured, high-powered team. And, I mean, the 2 shots they have now are just not cutting it. It's looking like a totally different team, than the team we saw in the last minute, where they were just on offense the whole time, all the pressure, and not letting the Drakes catch a breath. But in this one, this is a slightly different game. It looks like the Bishops are playing almost nervous. They don't want to give up their lead, and, they do know the potential that this Drake team has.
Yeah, both teams sitting at only 3 shots right now. Maybe another shot comes through here. Daydreams had a look at net, and this one does get very dangerous here. It will be cleared away by Mr. Climax. Tries to get it downfield to Fort, but still sitting at 3 shots apiece. Daydreams trying to get fancy when he gets it past 1. Nice 50, but Mr. Climax will be in the way to stop that. In a minute and a half left to go here, a demo comes through that probably makes it a little more bearable as the last minute rolls around. Oh, the shot comes through from Fort, a miss in front of the goal line, and finally we have the icebreaker.
And Kratos with the fake Geo had to respect the hit. He went up for it, but Fort is there to just slip it under the defense for the late lead taking goal.
Yep, and you can see the dangerous situation that Kratos, just by being in the area that he creates right there. And a nice cleanup by Fort means a minute and 20 seconds left here for Drakes to try to get themselves back alive in this series before they're staring down the barrel of 2-0 and a double commit as 2 players 50 out each other. It does go the right way, but it'll be right to the waiting arms of pretty much 3 Drakes players. A minute left to go here now. Finally, hopefully some pressure here as Gio fakes that one, looks for a pass midfield, but Kratos will get in the way of it. A demo comes through in Daydreams. Counterattack opportunity for Kratos. Looking for the 15 from the net. Will be cleared away by Zuleta. Mr. Climax trying to get another one. Make this lead up to 2 goals with 50 seconds left to go. Somehow Drakes need to find a way, get some pressure of their own. Looks like they're looking for midfield passes right now. But Kratos is just on top of it every time. And I don't know, Jaegers, we're about to have a 2-0 series. If something doesn't happen here soon, it's Mr. Climax looking for yet another goal. 30 seconds left to go here. And Daydream's trying to do something.
I mean, that's all the Drakes can do with 20 seconds left. They need to find something. They need to go for demo plays. They need to stop double committing. Because right now this Bishops team is just outclassing them on offense. And they need to find a way to break the scoring. And honestly, Magic, they just need to start doing demo plays. Open up the defense. Because that's the only thing I can see the Drakes maybe doing at the moment that could maybe steal game away from the Bishops.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. That's what I was noticing. I'm not seeing any demos come through, well, any meaningful demos from the Drakes. And now facing down the barrel of 3 straight match points. This is a game you really cannot afford to drop. I might have voted Bishops just for the lulz to tie up the vote, but I do think Drakes. Because I have a little bias for Zuleta. I love watching Zuleta play. I kind of expected Drakes to take this series in 5, but I don't know if we're getting 5 games if we keep seeing this very slow-paced attack where they just try to flick it midfield to a pass and hope that Kratos doesn't just ruin the play every time. Because right now, Kratos, he's not allowing anything to happen. A scoreless game for the Drakes, that is not what you want to have after dropping game 1.
Oh, Magic, the Bishops have been here before. We did play them on Wednesday. I believe it was Monday. I'm not sure, but it did go to 5. But that was a reverse sweep, Magic. We went down 2-0, and so the Bishops might have that in the back of their mind, either that or they're better for it. They're like, we've been here before. We're not letting it happen again. Or so this is going to be a really big moment for the Bishop season. Will they be able to get the sweep here, or will they crumble under the pressure?
Yeah, and so far, Kratos trying to get fancy with it. That does give it an opportunity, as Zuleta might have the stream open in the background because he's looking for some aggressive demos. Kills the goalie, but the ball was unluckily out of harm's way. Where the Bishop's defense cleared downfield from Zuleta. This is an open net if he can get it on target. Cannot get around the ball, and that would have been the opportunity they've been looking for so long. Kratos barely gets bumped out, or he could have just hit that all the way downfield to the open net. As it seems like whenever the Drakes have an opportunity, they pounce at it, but overcommit as Kratos, with the lack of boost in the defense, just puts it top corner.
I mean, Magic, the start of the game looked a little sloppy, I'm not going to lie to you, but Kratos puts it in the back of the net, and that should be the earliest goal we've had yet in this series. And Kratos, I believe he peaked like 1680 this season, something ridiculous. He is like, I don't know, he just has so much pop-off potential. And whenever the Bishops make the playoffs, they're going to be really good as a result of it.
Yeah, this Bishops team is looking scary off the back of Kratos in these last couple games, but Mr. Climax just carried that the first game, but Gio will silence the doubters for a second here as you say, guys like Kratos make this team so dangerous down the road.
And Gio is a sandbagger, maybe a little BM for his team. Just put that one in the long clear. And this is we saw in game 1, really back and forth scoring. Like in game 2, they kind of shied away from it. Bishops kind of had their way with the Drakes. But the Drakes answer back fast in this game 3, this pivotal game 3, I should say.
Yeah, and after going scoreless in game 2, it is good to see a pretty early goal come through, as that was almost an amazing shot by Gio. If he could get a touch there, pop it over the goalie. Kratos, with all the time in the world, gets faked out. He gets faked out by Gio, just flying across his screen. And that would have been a shot he could have taken, but he had a little too much respect for Gio, who just fakes him out. And I guess he did enough damage there to avoid the shot being taken. Demo onto Zuleta means Mr. Climax with enough boost to flick it over. This is dangerous with another shot on target. Gio with the clear way tries to get it midfield, but cannot do anything more than that with the no boost he has. Kratos looking for a pass infield right to Fort, and Kratos is running this lobby right now.
Oh, absolutely. What a beautiful pass from Kratos to Fort. Another 3-man passing play. And I mean, like, this Bishops team is just clicking on all cylinders.
And at the perfect time, too, on match point, Bishops trying to send a message to everybody in the Challenger League with a 3-0 sweep on a team that's currently sitting in playoff position, or play-in position, I should say. This is a postseason team. Daydreams. It seems like every time the Bishops gets a little bit of momentum, it's a quick answer from the Drakes.
Absolutely. Daydreams with a nice shot, and Kratos not respecting it. Gonna cheat up a little too much, and they're gonna get scored on as a result of it.
Yeah, and if the Drakes could get a kickoff goal here, and put them on the lead for once. Seems like they're always answering back from down 1. But to take a lead themselves could give them some momentum that is much needed right now. Gio with the clear downfield. 2 people up for this, but Climax does stay in control of his car on the backboard. So it will be no last man back situation here as he stays with it. Daydreams gets it past 1, but Mr. Climax, big fan of that backboard right now, and rightfully so, as all the attacks seem to come off the backboard. Mr. Climax with the own goal. It might have been bar or post in, but I think it would have been just off, and you hate to see it.
No, Magic, that was completely off. Look, take another look at this. If Mr. Climax had just let it go, it would have steered clear of the goal. But I mean, he just panicked, and in that situation, that's completely fair. You're not sure who's prowling in the midfield. You need to get a touch, and Fort almost answers right back away, but Gio is a sandbagger making plays on both sides of the field right now.
Yeah, in his defense, though, I mean, at that point, you just have to make a touch, because if it's on target, you just don't want to let it roll into your net, as 2 demos come through from Kratos and from Fort, and a huge flick from Gio, and out of nowhere, the Drakes are popping off.
Oh my goodness, Gio is just insane right now. 2 dribble plays, a nice flick. And, I mean, this game, he does not want to get swept, Magic. He has 3 goals and 4 saves, even throwing an assist in there. This man has accounted for every goal the Drakes have this game.
Yeah, they've worked way too hard to get into play-in position to get swept by another 7-7 team. But this is an easy shot for
Oh.
Kratos. He makes it look a little more difficult, but he just slots it away. And that'll be, cutting the lead in half before it gets too dicey here.
I mean, this Fort Kratos combos is just ridiculous. Like, that may look like a difficult shot, Magic, but that is easy in Kratos' eyes. He puts those in every day of the week.
And Fort passes it off and kind of goes into the opponent's net. That could have been a save, but
Oh my
a tie
goodness.
game out of nowhere. Another kickoff goal, as Fort almost had one the last time around, but they will get their much-deserved or kickoff goal here from Mr. Climax.
I mean, that's what happens on kickoff sometimes. You can't really help it. I mean, the ball just zoomed past Daydreams, wasn't able to flip into it. I believe that was Uletta, went too far on the boost, not quick enough. But, I mean, that's just one of those plays you really can't help.
Yeah, and the Comms are probably kind of in shock after taking a quick 2-goal lead. It is back to a tie game here with a minute and a half left to go with their, probably not their season, but it does seem to feel that way when you face
Oh,
another
man.
play-in team and you lose. You never know. If you can't beat them in the regular season, what's to make you think that you're going to beat them when it actually comes time in an elimination game? So this is a big confidence booster if you're the Bishops, where you're able to, battle back with adversity and tie this game up. Kratos looking for a pass infield maybe, but nobody close enough or willing to make the risk. A minute left to go in this game. Time ticking away quick, and the Drakes probably feel it more so than the Bishops, who are up 2-0 in this series right now. A missed touch from Gio, but nobody close enough to take a shot. Big clear downfield. Enough time here for either team to make an attack. And off the crossbar is the shot from Daydreams. That was what they've been looking for. Gio trying to get it, but another save by Kratos, and Mr. Climax clears it away here, Jaegers. No matter what the Drakes do, it seems like this last 2 minutes or so, it is all Bishops.
Oh my goodness, that was really back and forth. It seemed like the Drakes were scrambling. Gio's up for it, doesn't quite get the touch, however. And oh my goodness,
No.
he's gonna get dunked away. Can Gio get back? But he can, but goes
No.
and he puts in the back of the net. Could be the coffin Magic.
That one hurt so much from Gio. Tries to get the pinch, and it just goes right to Kratos. That made no sense. What happened with that bounce? But it is very unlucky, and Kratos, with the hat trick, he is, in my opinion, the player of the series. And if it does end here in 3 games, this has been an insane 1-goal win for all 3 of these games for the Bishops, unless Gio has something to say about it. Puts it to the midfield, ball hits the ground, this game is over. Kratos tries to get it over Daydreams, Daydreams pops it up. There is a glimmer of hope, but Climax clears it downfield. This is going the wrong way, and it will hit the ground. 3 straight 1-goal victories here for the Bishops, and they will sweep the Drakes out of nowhere and take a huge win going into the late part of the season.
Magic, this was a sweep, but every single game was close. You gotta hand it to the Drakes. But I mean, man, oh man, the Bishops clutched up when they needed to. Down 2 by 2 goals with, I believe it was a minute left. Just go back on to score back-to-back goals, and then finish off in regulation. This Bishops team really showed out today.
Yeah, they sure did. Yeah, we have 15 minutes or so before our next matchup. I feel like that was going to 5, but either way, Bishops they kind of impressed me today. I don't watch every single Challenger game, but when they're on stream, I feel like every time it is some bangers. And a team like Bishops, who as you said, got reverse swept by Ascension last Monday, just a week ago. They are looking to prove a lot of people wrong, and they will do just that here on our first matchup of the night. Sadly, we couldn't get the 5 games that we were all hoping for, but that was a very action-packed 3 games. With a lot of close down-to-the-wire matchup or situations in that matchup. So it's been a pleasure, Jaegers. Any final words to throw it off before we get our last 2 bangers in the night?
I mean, I just hope the next few games are as good as this one. Unfortunately, didn't go the distance like we wanted it to, Magic. But I mean, that there were some definite highlight plays in that one that were a real treat. And I mean, it's always a pleasure to cast with you, Magic, and looking forward to this next game.
Yeah, and shout out to Mr. Climax, who kind of ran that first game, but after that, Kratos just popped off. So big shout out to Kratos for making sure people remember my name going into postseason. I'm gonna be that guy this time around in the Challenger League. Make that miracle run that we saw from Venom last season. So Bishop's looking hot. Drake's see they can bounce back going into Wednesday, but that is all we have for our first matchup of the night between the Bishops and the Drakes. But don't go anywhere, everybody, because we are heading to the Titan League for our second matchup of the night. It's going to be fun.
See you then.